food.
All right. And on the 0. What is cracking, guys? Welcome back to another episode of OCE Cast, episode 2. The topic tonight is going to be about Mythic Plus. Got a few interesting players on tonight. I hope you have an excellent night. It's going to be a good one. Before we get started, though, I've got to talk about the charity that this stream is supporting. This is the last night that we're supporting the charity. It's called St. Jude's, and it helps basically just helps children with diseases, specifically cancer and treatment and stuff like that. So if you want to donate to that, feel free. If you want to do it anonymously, just type _charity in the chat. There it is. Thanks, Ramo. If you want to do it with an alert, you can do it through the stream. All donations to the stream this month and next month go straight to it. So there you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's get started. All right. So tonight we have Mr. Sabin, OCE, Moon _PH, Moon, and Nilesy. So Sabin, did you want to introduce yourself, my dude?
Sure. I'm Sabin, but most of my friends call me Kyle, and I'm a trial and medium.
And my mum calls me Kyle too.
Still getting back to knowledge now. No. I don't know. I like to push keys on my mates. And surest trolls on my keys.
Oh, surest trolls on my keys. That's shit up, dude.
What about you, Moon? How you going?
Oh, Moon's frozen by the looks of it.
Oh, she's frozen.
Oh, she's back. She's back.
Wait, am I back?
Yeah, you're back on.
Okay, hello, I'm Moon. Most of all, your favorite Asian healer. I don't know. What else to say?
See you, Vod. No. Well, what got you into Mythic Plus, Moon? What got you into Mythic Plus?
I actually started pushing in Legion with Sabin like 2 years ago. And I've just been a resto druid for like 10 years, all my life. And yeah, that's about it. But I actually didn't experience too much of Legion. I came back in End of Antaurus. So a lot of the topics that we're going to be talking about, I only just came back to the game for switching or the disabling of gear swapping and stuff. I just touched upon that at the very end. So,
Alright.
There you go.
No, fair enough. And Nilesy, how you doing, mate?
Welcome back. Oh, thanks, mate.
Yeah, good to have you aboard again, mate.
Happy Friday, motherfuckers.
Thanks for shaving for the podcast.
Big money crab repping. MDI, only MDI player in the call. I'd like to just throw it out
listen.
there real quick.
Okay.
Wait till I get unbanned, buddy.
It's already done. Sorry, bro.
Do you pay to get unbanned as well, or do you have to?
Did I pay to get unbanned? I'm actually. They said I'm not allowed to talk about this.
Oh, really?
No, they didn't. I just randomly woke up to an email saying, "Hey, you're unbanned now. Welcome back," sort of thing.
Sorry about that. We're actually shit at our jobs. Whoops.
Yeah. A little bit of that. And hey, do you mind giving me back the $160 I spent on a new account and a boost? Nah, you can get fucked.
Just say sick. I'm going to dual box. Then you'll see me in the BGs.
No, my wallet's still 113 on that second account. Sorry.
Oof. You hate to see it, mate. You hate to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, like you were talking about, Moon, we're going to bring up the first topic of tonight is with Mythic Plus is, do we think that they should bring back gear swapping like we did back in Legion? So gear swapping, being able to swap sets in between bosses or even trash mobs, so you can switch between an AoE set, a speed set, even if the whole group wipes, you need to get back really quickly. I know as a rep paladin, that was essential for making it back to the boss. Stuff like that. Making the dungeon a lot cleaner. Where is the viewer vote? I'm going to bring it up right now.
What's the viewer vote this time? What was it last time? I can't even remember.
The viewer vote. I don't think we had one, did we? Did we have one?
Did we? I can't remember.
I have a terrible memory. I'm not going to lie. Did we have one, Timbo? But what do you reckon about gear swapping, Nilesy, from Legion?
I don't know. I did a lot of keys in Legion, probably more keys in Legion than I've done in BFA. I'd say. I didn't mind it. I don't know. I probably don't want to see it return, but at the same time, I'm playing a warlock at the moment, and I've just got nothing to fucking do in keys. So it's sort of maybe it would mix it up a little bit. Maybe we would see a little bit more than just sort of all these melee comps coming in and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea actually to come back in. It's probably not a terrible idea at this point. They can't really fuck it up any worse with regards to competition. So.
Oh, fair enough. Well, Toxis with the tier 1 sub. Thanks, man. Appreciate that, brother. So you type 1 in chat or yes, 2 or no for the vote, and we'll see how the chat goes with that. 3 for just eat my ass. That's a good vote as well. What do you think about it, Sabin, with the gear swapping?
I think it'd be an interesting Pandora's box to open.
Yeah.
Like in Legion, it made sense because you had legendaries, right? And you had like insane tank trinkets, ones that soak like upwards of 25 million in damage, like Agrimar one, for example. But in this X-Pack, I don't know if it's really like I don't know if it really needs to be reintroduced. Like we're already pretty powerful. And like I feel like there's no one shots anymore, so it's not like you need like absurd tankiness for anything.
Avoidance sets and all
Yeah.
that sort of shit.
Yeah, like avoidance sets. I don't think it's a big deal. Honestly, I don't think it should be reintroduced. Because like not just that, it's also going to introduce some balance difficulties. For example, like I play Assassination Rogue, that's going to be disgusting with gear swapping. You swap to Echoing Blades, Shrouded set for AoE, and then you swap to nothing personal double doses for bosses. Like you're just going to blow everything up.
That being said, you do have a toolkit for literally fucking everything.
Yeah,
as a rogue.
And you are playing a fucking rogue.
Yeah,
so
playing a rogue.
Like your opinions.
Rogue in general. But that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. It would buff Rogue more than anything. But there's certain classes that wouldn't benefit from gear swapping, and then there's certain ones like Rogue that would just be disgusting.
Well, it's the ones that would benefit a lot more, and the ones that would benefit, less. And stuff
Well, from a healer's standpoint, Moon, would gear swapping be beneficial for different
I was
bosses?
actually just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Because on my monk, I actually ran the Secret Infusion build, which is like exactly 2 or 3 like traits in like between all of your gear. And I was thinking how viable that would be if you were able to switch between trash packs in order to like fulfill, this trash pack in Waycrest is a little bit more ST healing than, like certain bosses on Fort Week. And I think that it would actually benefit certain healers, especially a druid, if I could just switch to like double or even triple high noon between trash packs and then back to like defensive healer focused traits instead of the high noons. But at the same time, I also just didn't understand why they took out gear swapping anyway, because the only group of people that were min-maxing that back in Legion were the top key pushers. If that makes sense.
Very true.
From what I experienced. Yeah, it was like, okay, I need to put on Cephus with this pack, and then I need to swap out for like this other Lego, you know what I mean? So I guess, but it would only be substantial to a certain extent,
Yeah.
So
the only other thing I feel is there's already sort of like that RNG aspect with Azerite gear, and it sort of throws that under the bus, makes it even harder.
Yeah.
Like I'm a warlock, I still don't have we have like 3 sort of sets that we might use in raid or whatever. I still don't have all 3 of those, so it's another thing that sort of makes shines a bad light on Azerite gear and the RNG aspect there. So I don't know. There's both
Still
ways.
playing for my whiteboard on my rogue.
Yeah, you've been doing that for
One day, dude. One day.
Well, I think for quality of life, I think it would be good. But I mean, that being said, yeah, you guys are right. Not a lot of people would use it, and it's not essential. You know what I mean? As well, obviously they've worked the dungeons around that, which is probably going to be our next topic as well, is how they've actually designed all of the dungeons around Mythic Plus, and what you guys think about that. Like for example, Motherload. You do all of the trash, and then boss. It's ridiculous, right? Like it's not a fun dungeon, is it? Like, I mean, in a way. What do you reckon, Sabin?
Whoever designed KR needs to be fucking fired. Literally the worst. God damn it.
I mean, Motherload's at least somewhat fun in regards to you got the
sure.
Oh, I love Motherload, dude.
Yeah, so at least whatever you might lose in having to fucking skip half the instance just so you get the right pulls, it's
the pot update.
A bit of fun though, so
the Invis pot update made it a lot more fun. That's for sure. So not having to have a rogue like to shroud it though, you know what I mean? So there wasn't just a 10-minute fucking cooldown.
Well, I mean, you still need a death run, or you need to.
Yeah, I mean, no one's using Invis pots, even still.
Really?
Yeah.
Just our lower tier team is just like some. Never fucking mind then.
Shut up, Tim.
Tim, you don't want that, mate. Let's look at the poll for the gear swapping. We've actually.
Yeah,
73% of the chat said yes. 26% of the chat said no. But do we know what we want, chat? That's the question. Do we know what we want?
Oh, that's a dog. Sorry.
That's all right, mate.
Your dog goes fucking nuts randomly.
Get him on the stream, mate.
I think it was reacting to the yes vote on the gear swap.
Yeah.
For eat my ass. Hello?
Number 3. We'll put that in the next one.
Yeah.
The next one I want to talk about is talents on that same topic as well. So, what do you guys think about talent swapping in dungeons? Do you think it really, obviously, like you're going to be able to swap between builds, which would be insane. So, but then again, it's like you take specific talents for the affixes anyway, so it's not necessarily.
I feel like people already do that anyway, right? Because didn't there's a few motherload runs that I remember that Nilesy, like zone out and like change talents and then just zone back in.
Yeah,
or, like
true.
Hearth out, set Hearth to like that thing in front of motherload, and then he just zone back in for like the third boss. I don't know what talents he changed, but it's already kind of a thing. It's just like a 15-second annoyance that you have to do.
Yeah,
instead of a 2-second thing.
They're swapping from bolsters who never surrender for the magic damage on the last 2 bosses.
But I think
that's
sort of by design, though. They want you to sort of suffer for having to change talents, right? And
there has to be some sort of punishment.
Sort of punishment, rather than just sort of swapping it whenever you want.
Because it doesn't go without like a downside. Obviously, you're losing probably 15, 20
seconds, depending where you are.
Yeah, SSD, yeah.
It's actually a conspiracy by Blizzard to sell more SSDs. Got a contract.
What do you guys think about Radar.io as like a separate program to Blizzard? Do you think it's better that it's separate, or do you think that Blizzard should invest in it and maybe purchase the website and kind of integrate it into the game? Or do you think it's better?
They should 100% do their own thing. Like, I want mounts, I want titles, I want fucking all that sort of shit. I want like transmog. I want my own shit for doing M+. Like,
I think it's a good answer to challenge modes.
Yeah,
exactly.
We needed something into it. You need to reward people, so it's not just like as soon as you add mounts, as soon as you add titles, as soon as you add even fucking transmog, you just bring like a whole extra plethora of players that are going to come in and start getting involved.
Like,
and
it would be so good.
Well, it's like how many guilds aren't rating COS because there's no mount? Just no mount, and that's it.
Yeah,
well,
and no new set.
No mount. It's for the most part it's a shit gear or it's half tier and whatever else. But yeah.
It looks shit, but some of it sims really well.
Well, I mean, it's like the melee trinket, tank trinket. Like the tank
trinket shouldn't sim well. That's the problem.
But yeah, you bring in titles and all that sort of shit, dude, and I just think it'd blow up. And then they could even do a similar system to PvP where it's based on how many people are a certain higher score brings you into that category of top 5% or top 1% or whatever. I think that they could follow pretty much the exact same system, and that way they don't have to apply a static score system like they do on Radar.io. So
yeah,
I know so many people that would be pushing keys more, like if there was more rewards for it, and that's like a good thing. Like, I want to play with some of the best players, and like a lot of the best players. Like, and honestly, who's pushing? You got Waller, you got Matt. That's it. Like, how good would it be if they were all pushing? How good would it be if all the top guilds were pushing? You know what I mean? Like,
bringing in a glad.
You'd have you'd have more competition.
Exactly.
You'd have a better environment. It'd be awesome.
The Mythic Plus scene would go nuts, especially even like Warcraft streams when they do it. It would just be insane because everybody would be on board. It'd be crazy. It'd be smart. It'd be very, very smart for them to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody would agree with that, and having a system online to actually look at rather than external website where you need to get the add-on and all that sort of shit. So,
nothing I want to talk about.
Dude.
Yeah.
Fuck me, dude.
Could you imagine the cool mount?
Give me something. Like, why am I doing keys for 7 hours a day? Literally.
I mean, why are you doing keys
on a third-party website? Like, why am I doing this shit? I don't understand.
Well, it's like,
whatever.
If we did get them to do that, would they just literally reskin gear and reskin them out? Like, would it literally just be the PvP mount with a different color? Like, are we sure we want this?
What is half a mount though? Like, half the mount is just exclusivity. It's barely got anything to do with how it fucking looks these days. Like for me anyway. Like
it's more of the achievement for you, just in general.
I mean, it's the achievement having the cool mount that not many other people have, and it's just like everything in this game. You're literally doing everything in this game, so people look at your character and you subconsciously sort of feel happy standing in Borealis going,
like, I got a big dick.
Fashion craft, bro. Fashion craft, 100%.
Wait, real quick though, chat. Can you hear that? Chat.
No.
What's up?
Chat. Can you guys hear that?
What are we trying to hear?
Oh no. Oh fucking Christ.
No, you can't do that and then not shotgun that. What the fuck?
You let it roll. You let it roll so hard.
Oh fuck. Like a snowball, dude. What do you guys think about the effects of Azerite in Mythic Plus compared to Legendaries? Obviously, Legendaries made dungeons super fucking fun. They made the game fun, right? But,
I mean, Sefu's made dungeons fun.
I'm not even joking. I didn't jump on the Sefu's
like
train
not
until the
great.
last patch.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking
I don't know,
idiot.
like some
but,
Azerite.
I
Like,
played a
look,
monk, so I never used Safus.
the perfect Azerite trait for me is something like I play Warlock. So the Affliction Warlock talent, Inevitable Demise, where you each tick of your agony on the target gives you a stack, and it stacks up to 50, and you have a powerful drain life. So drain life is essentially a ability you wouldn't otherwise even use in PvE whatsoever, is now being utilized in a very specific way. That to me is just the perfect Azerite trait. So you do more shit like that, and you're guaranteed to have some sort of fun. It's same thing with like, fuck, give me another option. Example, help a brother out here. Help a brother. There's other, I know there's other traits.
I mean,
shit.
red's just like 3 buttons, so I'm trying to think of how it
you play,
changed.
yeah.
Well, all they did was give me another passive.
Mm.
So sick.
I think it's kind of like the same thing with druids. When I ran like during the time trials, I was thinking between like, should I run 2 or 3 high noons? And a high noon basically increases the periodic damage of your sunfire and the radius of that. So if you run, the difference between running 1, 2, or 3 means the difference between 2, 4 for like 6k overall damage. So like depending on how many defensive traits I run and how many offensive traits I would run, that meant like my overall performance in the entire run. And so I think it's kind of fun to mess with that stuff as a DPS, but it kind of feels like a shittier version of having to run like the Guardian cape back in Legion when you just like sit in Bear and spam Moonfire. It just feels like a super discount version of that. But you know, or like me having to switch to Boomy and then like go Sefus and stuff. I don't know. Like that's just, it feels like what Legion like should have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you feel like quality of life for dungeons would be better with tier sets as well, instead of Azerite traits, and then just have tier sets without legendaries? Because they're more tailored to classes, right? To change the rotation of a class.
I don't think tier's that good because you're locked into 4 pieces. Like,
yeah, well, 4 or
I don't
2
know about that one.
Scenario for the most part. Yeah,
I thought it was kind of good in a way, because then you could play around with which slot you used as well, because the full set was so good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The one extra slot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even now, like I still sit in front of the Reforger before every single dungeon. I think of the affix, I think of the level, and I think of how much dicking the tank is gonna get, and I'm like, okay, this is what I should do. Which is kind of like the same thing as tier sets, but I just feel it's more discount instead of what it was.
Yeah, well, I mean, legendaries to me were funner. But overall, I think Legion dungeons were funner for the most part. Anyway, I guess we won't get into that now, but I don't know. You still have the same thing as Legion. You had to have XYZ as a certain, like XYZ legendaries as a certain DPS. You still need to have the same thing as a DPS now. You have to have certain Azerite traits, all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
So you know, it's the same but different. But overall, the legendaries were just better. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I guess, the main difference for me, anyway. But yeah.
Well, we better get into some actual dungeon talk, I guess. What? All right, just real quick. Best dungeon and why, Sabin?
Underrot.
Why?
It's kind of a bias thing, though. Like,
fuck off.
No, it is, because like Underrot's just fucking like all the mobs have just so much health. They're big juicy targets for my bleeds, man. I love it. You just sink your bleeds into them. You just spam fan. Oh, it's amazing. But I don't know. There's a few good ones. Like in terms of dungeon design, I think that like there's some real outliers. Like Shrine and King's Rest are just awful in my opinion. Like you only really have one choice of how to do the dungeon because no one's gonna do the mini bosses. They don't give enough percent and they're just shit. They just take way too long. But then you have some decent ones. Like I think Underrot's a good one because you kind of just choose what you want to pull. Like for example, after the first boss, you have left. It's a bunch of big AoE damage, and you have right. You've got blood swarmers you have to deal with. Like you have choices in what you want to pull. And
change bits and affixes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What about you, Moon?
My favorite to heal is Waycrest. Hands down, so good. On Tyrannical, because fuck this week. Fuck Fortified. Tyrannical Waycrest for me is probably one of the best healing checks across all dungeons across the board. Because for me, like KR Tyrannical is more of a defensive, like how well can you manage your group's defensives and just heal through that and just spam a growth the whole time and keep your dots up. Whereas Waycrest has such a good balance between AoE and single target throughout the entire place and every single boss is so difficult, which is very fun. Other than that, I do agree. Shrine is shit. KR is super shit, super trash. Fuck that place. I can't.
Nilesy, what about you, mate?
I don't know. Freehold's got to be up there. It's just fucking
Fucking Freehold.
just
Is this
thick-
going to level the tune just
thick
before?
balls. Just give me so many fucking mobs, dude, at once. Let me press my button. That just makes me feel good.
Actually,
Let me
yeah.
in the face.
Yeah. I don't know what else is good. It's hard to say, but I don't know. Freehold's up there for me. Just fuck Siege right off. Fuck
Oh,
KR
yeah.
right off.
Yeah. Oh God.
Um,
jeez, I forgot about
Siege
that.
is terrible.
Jesus.
Fuck a place that has water when you're a gnome and shit, and you have to use the spotter and that fucking bullshit. What else is good?
Oh, yeah, you're a
Underworld's
gnome,
good.
aren't
Yeah,
you?
Underworld's a fantastic. Yeah, I was trying to mix it up a little bit. But where else is good? Fuck, I can't even think of all the dungeons at the moment. Holy shit.
Because they're all trash.
I don't mind
Too
Atal.
much tequila
Just
already.
because it's
Atal's
like it's like a
actually-
band-aid, so it's fine.
Well, no, Atal is your perfect. To me, Atal is like a well-designed dungeon. The multiple routes, multiple packs of you can engage or skip, all that sort of stuff. The fact that you can essentially do, obviously, other than the last boss, you can do the bosses in any order that you want. I think that's good design. I think that's what you want in a dungeon,
you
is to
though?
have that choice. Well, I mean,
Have you ever seen anyone go left on the tower?
We
Like,
just
I mean,
did it
but
last
you
night.
can,
It was
though.
fun.
The option's there, okay?
But would you ever like?
That's
I feel
why
like
it's not
there
in
could
my
be some
favourites,
balance
though.
in this.
That's why it's not in my favorites. But
I
you have
understand.
the option, you know. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's good. I mean, can you shroud that pack there on the left? Like,
No,
do the-
it has stealth detect. It's fucking
Oh, that's
garbage.
terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Why don't
But
you
yeah,
like
fuck
King's
KR,
Rest?
fuck Siege.
By the way,
Why do you like King's
Why-
Rest?
why don't you like it?
It's just shit mobs, shit bosses. Like I mean, the council boss
So-
is far too long.
Yeah.
Shadow of
Council's like
Azul.
30 minutes on to run, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
just
ridiculous.
stupid shit. And then I don't know. Siege for me is essentially just the spotter. The fact that you essentially have to pull around the spotter, something that
Yeah.
forces you into a mechanic like that, is just
The
fucking
damage
stupid.
room
Oh,
is
Siege
nothing
is
in
garbage.
Siege. It's
It's
all about
control,
like
it's control.
execution.
Yeah, execution and control for sure. Yeah.
I absolutely hate Siege. I've
Yeah,
played. I've
no,
played it as a
me too.
ranged, as a melee, as a healer. I just haven't tanked it. I fucking hate it. I don't ever want to do
Yeah.
that fucking dungeon ever again.
Yeah, imagine having to be the root bot for the fucking spotter. So bad. Like, it's terrible. And then your tank charges into the third boss, pulls all the trash, and you're like, fuck. What do I do?
I
He
always
goes full ollie and just pulls the
Just
entire
go-
room.
I don't want to talk about it.
Timbo, I did an 11 yesterday. It was hectic, dude. It was crazy. I'm gonna go back down though. I need to go back down to that just 10 a week.
Just that
Sorry, I
flat
only
The
did
set.
stress,
Mikey,
the
6
stress ate me
plus.
alive.
We don't give shit to those who can't do it, but like I think I've only done like 20s this season. I'm not pushing essentially really hard or anything. I do 3 gears and I get tired. It's like getting sleepy. I need to fucking
Yeah,
like,
you assemble a
down
team
to-
and you're like, "Fuck, let's do it, boys!" And everyone's like,
Yeah, and then-
we
and
can't
then
find
We went
a
into
healer."
a 21 temple last night or something, and dude, just like we died on the boss the first 2 times, and it was like, yeah, fuck this. let's boost this shit. We just took off all our gear, died 100, 300 times to get fucking bomb Sam debuff, and we finished.
Go full fucking in.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
we
how
fucking-
like Blizzard has left that thing where if you get rid of the Bloodlust debuff and then you do it, you can do it again. They've just left it because
Yeah.
they know you're already fucking annoyed. They're just gonna
Double
let
S,
you do
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't want to fuck with people who are already fucked over. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
The one thing
Yeah.
they got right. We're gonna move on to a little drinking game I prepared.
Did I just play real quick? Did I
Oh,
just see
God.
you dab Sabin?
Actually, wait,
Is that
hang
what
on,
I
wait.
just saw?
Right.
Go on, Dab, do
Is
it.
that on the down low as well?
2019.
Can you do it
Oh,
again?
Cuddles messaged me on
I
Discord.
got so
That
much
was-
shit. Like I did this dab last time. I did this little like dab to give people shit through dab. And I got given shit in my fucking guild, man, for fucking dabbing.
Wait, Cuddles told me to, so I didn't have a choice. He used the best.
Wait,
he makes
Cuddles,
in
is
the
that the
world.
best PH in the world? Yeah.
That's
I
the
can't say no, dude.
that's the only legit keyboard warrior is Cuddles.
Jesus Christ.
Oh fuck. You guys ready for this drinking game?
Oh, sort of.
Sort of.
I did wake
Let's
up 10 minutes.
go.
Nilesy just woke up, so.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
this is a game? I was just doing it anyway.
Woke up and did a
Alright.
fucking shot of tequila.
Well, if you mess up the
If I
answer,
fuck?
if you fuck,
Fuck, I'm screwed.
oh, unlucky mate. No, if you fuck the answer up, you have to take a drink, but like a proper
Oh,
drink.
no.
No pussy drinks, just an actual.
That's
And
right.
if you're Nilesy, you have to put a shot.
I'm the
into
only
your
one doing
eye.
shots,
No,
though,
I'm joking.
aren't I?
I'm joking.
Dude, I've
I'll
been
do it.
drinking this whole time. I don't know what you guys are drinking.
Is that
I'm
a
drinking.
cup
Did you
and
just
a
fill it up
straw
with
that you're
water?
pouring your wine in?
No, this is legitimately wine. Like,
Yeah, but is it in a
Like
plastic
bottle
cup
cap
with a
stuff.
straw?
yes,
Oh my fucking god.
you gotta recycle, okay?
Okay, alright, I respect it. I'm sorry.
Save the turtles, man.
Oh gosh. I'm just struggling to get this ice out of this fucking boxing. I don't want to smash it on my table midstream, so I'm carefully
You wouldn't
picking
do
this
it?
fucking
You
well,
wouldn't
I'm
do
not
it,
gonna
pussy.
do it. I'm definitely not putting water in there and shit.
The old Nilesy would have done it, dude.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not just giving up. 1 cube of ice is enough.
Do you remember that go drinking game we played on the last one, Nilesy?
Where you close your eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the game was
Sure.
about?
Guessing the correct other achievements?
Yeah, guessing the correct achievements that matched the
Okay.
boss.
Oh no!
Now-
You gave the name and we had to guess.
Yeah, the name
Guess
of
the
the
achievement,
achievement.
okay.
Now, the dungeon achievements, there's about 50 of them. So let's just do if you can match it to the dungeon. How does that
Yeah,
sound?
let's keep our
Okay.
hands on the
Let's keep your
webcam so
hands
there's
up
no-
like
Okay.
this, okay?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
Sabin,
so
you can have one hand up if you want.
Oh,
All right.
Why is that?
Oh,
It's cool. I'll explain it later. You go first if you want, Sabin. That's cool, dude.
sure.
I-
Let's go.
All right. So this achievement's called Snake Eyes. What
Mhm.
dungeon is Snake
Temple
Eyes
of
from?
Seth Rollins.
It is. Holy shit!
easy. What the
Wow.
Very easy.
Dude,
You
you
can
better
tell
give me
it.
an easy one. I swear to God,
It's
I'm losing
it's
my
called
shit.
easing into the game. Come on.
Yeah.
There's 50 of these. All right.
And then Moon's gonna get some real fucking impossible one off the bat. I'm calling it.
All right, Moon, are you ready?
Yeah.
This one's called Not a Fun Guy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. What the
Wait,
fuck?
wait.
That's,
Can I-
Well, I
that's
know
the
that one.
best pun in
Can
history.
I ask the vague.
The name,
Not
the
a
name.
fun.
Just take the
No, no,
space
no.
away from the last two words.
Ooh,
Not a fun guy.
I'll take it.
That's another
I don't
one.
actually know.
Wait, can I ask what the vague description of the achievement is? Super
Oh, yes.
vague. Like what do you
Ooh.
have to do?
Is that a
Like,
lifeline?
vague.
Can we call that a lifeline and
Yeah.
she's
Can I
using
call
it
a
up?
friend? Can
You
I call
get you
Matt?
get one lifeline and that was it. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll give you one name. Okay.
Okay.
Fuck. This is a real general achievement.
No, don't give me a giveaway. Give me like what you have to do for the achievement.
It's
In like
it's
giving
literally
away.
killing two things
Not
that are
a-
in the dungeon.
What?
Not
a fun guy.
Fun
Shit.
guy. What?
Fun
Is
guy.
that not the most
I
obvious
am-
thing ever?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's underwrite.
It's underwrite. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Oh,
Fun guy.
Fun guy.
I
Right.
could
Oh,
put
fuck.
fun guy.
Like mushy.
And I was-
Yeah, like
yeah, I was
mushies, dude.
thinking
Gnarly,
guy is
yeah.
really
Okay.
fun. And then he
Alright.
said fun guy. I got it. Can I still drink anyway?
Jesus.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm
No,
gonna be
if you want to,
definitely
if you want
should
to.
be drinking, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna choke, so I'd go for it.
All right, you ready, mate?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Help me.
Hit me.
Oh, that one. Remix to Ignition.
Oh, that's gotta be Told to Gore.
It is totally.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
It is
Yeah.
totally, yeah.
Ease.
Alright,
Easy one.
The fuck?
One more round, go.
All right, Sabin, you ready, mate?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Tank, nobody got time for that.
What was that, sorry?
Actually, no, that's wrong. Don't worry. Forget that one.
Okay.
Fucking stupid
Keep
achievement.
your hands up, Sabin, you filthy
Oh,
fuck.
yeah.
It just looks like your mum walked into the room while you're doing something.
Alchemical Romance.
Mm.
Oh.
Chemicals.
You could guess it just based off the reactions.
Could you?
Oh, you look at the
Don't,
chat.
don't read the chat. No, don't read
No,
the
I'm
chat.
not. My eyes,
No.
look where my eyes are.
Shotgun a beer while you think of it. No.
What was it again? Say it again.
It's called Alchemical
Oh.
Romance.
I'm just gonna guess under it again. It's probably not that.
It's
though.
not. It's Waycrest Manor.
Oh, I wouldn't have got that.
Which one's
Mm.
that for? Which
Defeat
one's-
3 death-touched slayers corpse.
because it's a chemical that you throw at them, isn't it?
Yeah, on the last boss.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeet.
Fair enough.
All right. Moon, you ready for this one? This one's.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, these are so easy. Rap God.
I did this.
Oh, I know this one. I
know
know
it
this
is.
one.
Everyone did it like so early.
Yeah.
But people went
Rap-
achievement hunting in dungeons?
No.
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 I'm thinking of a mechanic that wraps you. Like entomb? I don't know. Is it related to that?
It might be. It might
I don't
not.
know.
I'm just looking at Kyle's face
I
right now.
don't
I'm
know.
trying to get the answer. Is it what I'm thinking of? Is it like entomb related? Like KR?
Maybe.
Huh?
Is that your final answer?
Lock it in, Eddie.
Lock it in.
I don't know if it would be a final answer.
It is. It is. You're right.
Rap
Okay,
sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You don't
I
have
wouldn't
to drink.
anyway.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
thing with
maybe.
that's the thing with us out like with being outside of school now is that when you lose a drinking game, you still want to drink it.
You still want to drink?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, let me fucking get
Yeah.
through this day, please.
You ever win like beer pong and then they haven't sunk a single cup and then you just grab them all and you're like no, because if you lose a beer pong game, you have to drink the cups you didn't sink. That's the rule. But fuck that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like I didn't know there was any other rule other than that. I always thought the loser has to drink the winner's drink.
Yeah,
What's left over? Yeah, are you
I
saying
think
you
that's
just drink
it.
them to yourself? Do you?
you could just lose on purpose
Yeah,
and then just get a free night being
free
pissed.
drinks. Yeah, true.
All right, one last
Hit
one
me
for you,
up.
That's
Nilesy.
started.
Go for it.
Stand by me.
Fuck.
Oh.
I know this
Fuck.
one.
Stand by me.
Fuck, I know all these ones except the
Do
ones
you?
I get.
Fuck. Stand by me. Help. Oh fuck.
I may have looked at what
That's a good
keys you
one,
guys do the
actually.
most to pick these.
And gone
actually a good
opposite,
one.
have you?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Stand by me, dude. I have
Mm.
no fucking idea.
Great song.
Is it Shrine?
It's not Shrine. It's
Oh,
it's
damn.
Siege, my dude. Unlucky.
Oh fuck you, dude. Why would you throw Siege at me in the way?
Wait, which Boston seed?
I'm freaking out, dude. Oh god, Siege.
Oh,
How can
last
you
Boston,
have-
last Boston.
How can you have an arm tier on this cast? You pay him. Easy. Okay.
How can you
Yeah,
have
we
a
were
what?
actually paid real money for the cast, by the way.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
no.
Did you do this?
I'm just joking.
What, why not me to say that?
Wait, what did you say?
We were paid real money for this cast. Was I not meant to say
Oh,
that?
I
Oh,
thought
bro,
you were
shit.
talking
bro,
about- I thought you were making
Look
some
at my
R&B
house. You
jokes
think
or
I
some
can
shit
pay for?
again, dude.
You think I can pay for this?
Oh fucking hell!
I had to
Why
steal
did
this
I
jacket
pay
from a
this for
small
a
girl.
Fucking Matt's in the chat. Just
Didn't you buy the Jane amount off of us like last week for real money?
Who
No?
did that?
Wasn't that Andrew?
Bro, I had to give away them out when I looted it. Do you know how soul
I
crushing
know,
that
I
was?
saw it.
That's
I
terrible.
saw
Oh
it. You
mate,
little
I
fucking
terrible.
I had to
I-
call mum just to gather myself
I
properly.
mean, I'm making my guys give away the Matt. But yeah, that's because.
How fucking could you?
You're a little bitch, Andrew. I just wanted you to know that.
Why?
I would have fucking insta used that mount, dude.
Should have seen the chat. Everyone's like,
when you're trialing for me,
I already have
it
Don't worry now. I already have it. Dude.
gives me some sort of fucking safety net. Thanks, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vehemence is such a
what, Matt
man.
Hendris? Fuck you, Yoons. All right, mate. Yoons is the one who won it. Yoons is the one who won it off me. How many pulls,
Page 4
Yoons?
guilds can get people to trial for them. That's fucked.
All right.
All right.
You want to
yeah.
move on?
I reckon we should. Yeah, for
All right,
sure.
let's do it. Let's do. Oh, we've already covered
Let's
worst.
keep going.
We've covered worst dungeon. Obviously, that's pretty apparent. I want to talk
Yeah.
about Infested. I want to talk about Infested. What you guys thought about Infested?
Oh no, I don't.
Yeah. But you don't like it,
No.
or you didn't.
Oh, it's horrible.
It is.
It
I
just
mean,
made every single dungeon so slow.
Yeah,
I feel
did.
like
yeah.
I don't know, like every single pull you just have to think about it when like it's okay to think about it, but not to that extent where every single pull you're like, okay, we need to CC this. Oh shit, it broke. Oh god, Infest is in the pull. Oh fuck, you know what I mean? Grieving was a lot more fun, and I do kind of agree the fact that it's kind of easy when they said that during the MDI, but it's actually really fucking fun.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Mm.
agree.
Yeah,
It's a pad fiesta. Who wouldn't like it?
yeah.
Well, anybody that can't pad fucking feels bad. Like I can as a demo, but fucking just give me back. Give
Just
me
drop
back
a fucking
the
infernal on it, mate. Every
seeds.
5 minutes. Don't worry about it.
every
Or
5.
4 minutes.
Can we just play around the
Oh.
Warlock's cooldowns, please? Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Thank you
I
so
only want
much.
a reaping every 4 minutes. If you don't give me that, I'm out.
The poor
Wait, I don't
GG.
have Blade Flurry? Fuck, no.
Yeah, I'm out of here. dude.
Like,
GG had to have a quiet word with me about popping wings on just infested mobs and nothing else right before a boss. To
Yeah,
not
that's
pad.
that's
a
such
bit
a
of a
fucking
yikes.
red paladin
Yeah.
thing, dude. That is such a red palette.
I don't do it anymore. Okay, I'm sorry. I fixed it. It's done.
Snot still does
The
that.
DPS
Fucking hell.
is back up, but I'm still padding. So
No,
let's go.
I didn't mind Infested. Like, it did slow it down. But I felt like a lot of classes that are now otherwise useless could actually be utilized. So I'm just probably speaking from a biased perspective. But yeah, it was relatively shit at the time of doing it.
Well, it meant CCing the
yeah.
infested if you could, and then killing the mob around it, or it meant pulling a massive mob, killing the infested down.
Yeah.
CCing the mobs.
I mean, what the most of the
CCing
time
the
what you
goons.
do is you'd CC one two infested, do the packs, and then so do the two infest together, and then teaming weeks you'd have those infested that'd heal each other even though they're not supposed to, and those fucking stupid bugs.
And if you pug, you'd have 7 extra infesteds.
That was a terrible bug. That was a terrible.
On Underrot especially, it was so bad.
Yeah, it was in the second boss room.
The maggot on Underrot. Ooh.
Let's look at the poll and see what people in the chat thought about it. 20% of chat said it was good. 40% said bad, and 40% said suck my ass.
There you go.
There you
what
go.
happens when you put the third option.
Easy.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, look, we can go ahead and say suck my ass is bad, right?
Yeah. I mean, have you tried it?
Well, look, let's not get into
Don't
this,
tell me
man.
you don't eat ass. No, Nilesy, don't tell me you don't eat ass. Not while I have you on my podcast. Don't disrespect me like that. What about reaping? Let's talk about reaping.
Good. I
Good.
don't really have to.
Cool.
It's
Let's
easy.
move on. No.
So much
Oh,
bad
Yeah,
to say.
that's alright. Not
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, it's there, and well, it's just
It's there.
it just gets dealt with in like a minute. So not even a minute, in like 20 seconds. So it's not really necessarily a bad thing, is it?
My only opinion on reaping is fan of knives.
You mean echoing
My
blades?
opinion is typhoon.
You mean echoing
And
blades?
sun.
Yeah. God.
yeah,
Time.
yeah, I do.
How do you do that? Sorry, what's the build that you've chosen to run just quickly? What is it?
Triple
verse.
echo routed, and then you stack crit verse.
And then it's because I've tried it with just triple echoing on 3 target dummies, and the energy regen is fucking ridiculous. Like you
Well,
don't.
you can-
Yeah, you have to
Blades
keep
and
4
stuff.
dots up. If you have 4 dots up, you'll have infinite energy. Burning fan.
You just
Yeah.
maintain elaborate planning as well, I think, right? And just
Yeah.
keep going.
Nah, you don't bother
No?
with that. You just
Really?
Really?
I thought you did.
Yeah.
I thought it relied on that.
So you just do it to keep dots up for the energy regen, and then just fucking go ham.
Fucking
Fair
hell.
enough.
On anything more than 2 targets, you're not pressing anything except fan. Or
Yikes.
and keeping your dots up, obviously.
Tough
Yeah.
class, dude. Tough class.
It's a fun one for sure.
Yeah. Keep going. What's next?
I'm just going to start this other poll up for reaping so we know what the chat reckons as well. I do want to get stuck into the new affix, which is called Beguiling. If you don't know anything about it. It was recently data mined. That the only thing we knew about it until today was that the fact that a mob spammed essentially Arcane Explosion, just doing a fuck ton of damage till it died every 1 second. Nice. That was about it.
Well, I see 3 NPCs here. But
Yeah. There was an interview today, literally today.
Yeah.
That with Ian, and they've updated it.
My boy.
On your boy Ian. How dare you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The old wait till he's on the boss till it gets nerfed. Love that guy.
Yeah. It's actually fucking way too much of a
It actually
coincidence not to be true, though. Honestly, it's way too much of a coincidence.
It is.
fuck.
Let me just get it up so I can read it out to you guys real quick.
Yeah.
About it. So basically, oopsie daisy, where the fuck is it? Sorry, my internet is literally shitting the bed right now.
Yeah.
Just the standard, you know how it is.
Do you want me to read it? Got it going?
Yeah, I should have it in a sec. Beguiling, come on, mate.
Maybe it's better I don't read it. I want to choke up on fucking stream.
Oh, I'm so fucking nervous.
He's just sweating.
I'm
Get
sweating
Sabin to
from all
read
the
it.
I pumped the heater and drinking fucking tequila and all this
I
shit.
haven't had enough coke yet. I see.
You just
Yeah.
woke up. What the fuck?
Well,
Do you usually get up and just do a shot of tequila? Is that how it usually goes?
That's what
Yeah,
happens when Nem goes more than one day without RMT.
It's
This
So-
coffee pasta is so good.
Wait, what's this shit?
Bro, this is the best.
Holy shit, dude.
What
What's
the
up,
fuck is
douchebag? It's me and Pocket.
He's just gonna sit back and let it happen. And let it take
Oh
you.
no, dude.
Even Chappie's in on it.
Oh fuck.
I'm in, dude.
That's a good one, actually. It's not bad as well. I like the.
I'm using this in my
I can't
first
even
game.
read it because it's getting spammed too fast.
But I'll
Alrighty,
talk about Beguiling. I'll talk about it.
Yeah,
So
go for it.
basically, there's
Terrible
these.
name.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's basically there's going to be 3 mobs in every single dungeon. One's going to be an arcane mob, one's going to be shadow, one's going to be frost, and they're essentially called the Queen's handmaidens, right? One the arcane one's called Enchanted Emissary, the shadow's called Void Touched, and the frost is Emissary of the Tides, right? Now, the arcane one, it grants nearby allies Queen's Decree, which is a blowback reflecting 200% of damage dealt back at the target. So good luck, tanks, because that's gonna be fucking AIDS.
I ain't stopping, by the way.
Sure as you fucks, mate. We also found another spell that directly references the Enchanted Emissary, which helps with the mechanic above, called Enchanted, which just knocks stuff back. Sick. Thanks for that, Wowhead. The shadow ones is called Hide. So for an 8-second cast, it deals shadow damage equal to 50% of the target's health to enemies in line of sight within a 60-yard radius.
That's interesting.
So I don't know whether or not we're going to be able to interrupt that, but
we don't know if they're going to spawn, if they're going to be fixed spawn locations or random spawn locations. Do we have that info yet? Or?
I believe they are. Wait, where the fuck was it?
Hopefully it's not like an infested thing where it changes week to week. That'd be fucking awful.
I believe it's random.
Yeah.
I believe it's random as well where they are. This is
That's even worse.
It's to stabilize
Yeah.
it's to stabilize the fear of people who actually enjoy dungeons where they can't do static pulls every single time. You have to do different pulls essentially, which is.
I like that a little bit.
Don't worry, guys. We can chest this key if we don't get unlucky.
Remember that key we did 4 times in a row, boys? Sick, it's different every time. Yay.
Well, I mean, if you know that there's going to be a certain amount of them, and you've walked past 3, you know that you're going to have one more up. And I think
I suppose that works. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The third one, the frost one, its ability is called Unstoppable. It grants nearby allies Queen's Decree. Unstoppable, making them immune to crowd control effects, which is essentially just like a toll. You know, that big bubble that comes up where you can't crowd control just before the trans. So I feel like you could just pull it away.
That's fine because my group can't CC anyway.
You were copying shade
all the time, dude.
You were copying shade for not being able to interrupt with the chat before. Yes, Moon, if she's into Irish guys and if she could go bowling with my friend Luke. Thanks, dude.
Look like
Moon?
Chengsu?
Apox is. Oh no, dude.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Pull me fucking
What
head.
have you done, dude?
I don't know what you're saying when you say Oceanic Mythic Plus scene is toxic, okay? They're perfectly fine people.
They're fine,
great.
dude.
Sure.
I'm having a great time. I only cried twice today, so.
Rail any 2 of these cast members, which 2 I'd go with Sabin and Niles preferably at the same time. Thanks, Faz, dude.
Mine sucks, by the way.
Oh fuck! No, I don't know. It looks good. I guess it's just a matter of how they handle it at this point and what they do with it. And yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, I guess it will be interesting. Let's hope it's not. It sounds relatively sort of like.
Wait,
it sounds
that's
like
so
one can be
mean,
very
Luke.
easy and one can be sort of.
Do you
pretty
think
hard.
they'll
Actually, they're
increase
all pretty-
time on dungeons as well? Because there's going to be new ones coming out, obviously, because these ones are shite. So they should
Well, are we
release more.
getting any extra Mythic Plus dungeons next season? We're not. We're getting the Mechagon when it gets split up, just like they did with Kara and Legion, right? So we might not actually see any Mythic Plus dungeons for months, which is a bit annoying. But
That's going to suck. Well, I hope maybe
but
Mechagon's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I suppose. I mean,
there
make
was
mobs
like
not
even
annoying.
the Mythic Zero version of Kara provided some sort of entertainment for like a good month with the sale runs that you did for the
Oh,
the
night.
mountain.
the Emberwimp.
Yeah, the Night Bane.
Ember
Yeah,
Worm?
so you did that shit for like a good month or
Oh
whatever.
yeah. The first
That
dungeon I
wasn't
got
terrible.
my first legendary in finally. 30 days in or whatever the
What'd
fuck
you
it
get?
was.
Wait,
I got the
what?
cape and I squealed like a fucking girl.
Wait, did you start
Wait,
playing
for Pally?
Legion? Did you?
No, I've been playing since like the start. I just didn't get a legendary because I wasn't
Wait,
raiding or
really?
anything. Yeah, I mained
okay,
Feral
right.
at the start and swapped to Ret like a week in, and then just didn't get a legendary.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, raid team feels bad, mate. What do you guys think the best affix and the worst affix are?
That's a good question.
You want to go first, Sabin? Wanna
I like skittish.
wanna give us some knowledge there,
Doesn't
mate?
mean anything for me.
Non-existent affix.
I suppose you're a rogue, so it's like I'll just.
Even if you're not a rogue, it's pretty free. Like just play Front Warrior forehead.
Well, I mean,
I mean, he tricks every fucking.
can you
fool
spell
anyway,
reflect
right?
an
Yeah.
affix, dude?
Right?
Well, like
I don't know. You've got free affixes and then you got shit affixes. That's really like for the most part what it is. I feel like, right?
well, like you were
Well,
saying
I feel
before.
like we'll all agree on the worst. What are your thoughts on worst?
Well, I mean, like you were saying before, Moon, with Atoll and teaming and that. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, why is it a shit affix?
Every single time I've done a tall this week, and it's teaming. Every route is different.
Yeah, it's
Whether or
orange.
not like we go left first, but whether or not there are constructs there, it depends. And we go right, whether or not there's like extra stalkers there, it depends. Like it's all kind of fucked up. It's just really annoying having to change your entire route for 1 week of the entire season. It happens like maybe 3 or 4 times in the entire season. And it's just it changes the pace of the game as opposed to, like having it be a consistent ride up, through like it's progression in a way, like when you're going through the weeks and you're like rising in score, and weeks like this week just completely stop any progression that you could have. As opposed to last week, like people just pump 23s, 24s, 27s, or 26s actually, and just, and then you have a week like this where 21s and 22s are barely chestable, even if we're like completely maxed gear. It's fucked up.
Yeah,
And then you
statistically speaking, taming is like the worst. Yeah.
I
I think my
will-
least favorite's explosive, though. I fucking despise explosive.
I
I
will
think that's actually
interrupt.
not a bad
Game,
one.
You're just sitting there
Yeah.
micromanaging it.
See, to me, it's like I love
good
bursting, but
I just hate
the
it.
way that bursting's tuned at the moment just makes it a terrible one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go
Oh,
back to
yeah, for
Legion
sure.
bursting, where it was a difficult thing to handle if you did big pulls, but it shouldn't be like, okay, we pull this pack and now guys wait for the healer to fucking like top up mana sort of thing. Like, I mean, you got to put it in the perspective of big push keys, and you got to put it in the perspective of just everyday sort of keys. But I think that's just literally half it, and all of a sudden it becomes a good affix. It still has sort of elements that make it difficult.
I will interrupt to
sorry.
say that my dad has made it to the chat once again.
Is your
So-
dad
and
in the
my
chat?
and my
I
mum,
understand.
my mum and dad are in the
Wait.
chat.
Your mum and your dad. That's
Yeah,
lovely.
I'll at them.
That's good. We don't give up their identity, right? Though.
Hey, Dad, what's
Yo,
cracking?
also, you're not meant to tell people that, too.
Yeah, and Quaking can fuck off. Honestly, excuse me for the language, mum and dad. But yeah, Quaking I think is just sort of crappy and a little bit overtuned. And what else is bad? Bolstering sort of shit. But bolstering's, I feel, it's not terrible. It's
Well,
just bad.
Ramo would
Bolstering's
say
terrible.
bolstering with me is not very fun because I am brain dead, and I'll like if I see Divine Storm, I'm gonna hit Divine Storm on 70 plus targets, until they die.
Yeah.
And then you just hear Ramo go, can we stop? Can we hang on? And then I'm like, I'm gonna die. I better bubble. And then I turn around and my whole group is dead. And Ramo's just like, I fucking hate this dungeon. I fucking hate it. And I just see him hail thing.
Opposite
I'm like,
stream and not looking at fucking what's going on.
I'm looking at
Just
chat like,
looking at
thank you
chat,
so much. What's up, dude?
How you been, man? No, it's alright though. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. They're fucking up. I think more in the combination of affixes that they're putting together than the affixes themselves. But yeah, there's certain ones that need to be nerfed. There's certain ones that need to be buffed. Like you have free weeks. You get volcanic. It's essentially a free week. You get you get fucking what's it called? The aggro loss one. It's a free week. Like, and then you get fucking like they're saying teaming, and it's like, well, fuck you. I guess we won't do push this week, sort of thing, or we won't push big this week. So yeah. Bring back overflowing, yikes.
It just kind of sucks. Like I think with the removal of being able to customize in a way what key you have, like how you could delete keys, and then essentially when
Why
you
did
finish,
they delete that?
Yeah,
That
I
was
feel
such
like
a bad change.
That was so good,
Fuck
dude.
me. Like I think if you added a way to like turn in residuum or like put the key into the scrapper or something like that, that would make the game so much better.
500
No
residuum.
shit.
Even make the penalty
Like,
you lose
no
2
shit.
levels or something like that instead of 1 to change the key. I think most people wouldn't be upset with that.
Yeah.
yeah. for
Scrap the
sure.
system. Yeah, that's not a terrible idea at all.
Even like buying a different
yeah.
key could be cool, I guess. Like it has a spot, I guess. So here we have dinner, watching it at restaurant. All right, have a sick dinner, Dad. Much love, mate.
Pumper.
That's his name, dude. Pumper.
Thanks, dude.
His real name's Nigel, the most Australian name ever.
Yeah, that's very Aussie.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking yeah.
See you
very
later,
Aussie
Nige.
name.
You gotta say it properly, Nigel.
What's he pumping? TOS.
Well,
TOS.
I was gonna say something else, but
You didn't say you're a Thornberry. Smashing.
I was gonna say pumping iron at the gym. I'm a wholesome man.
Yeah, I don't know, Moon. What's your opinion? Affixes.
What's
Do we ask?
I think any affix that increases the HPS requirement of the entire key overall really fucks it up. So like grievous, there's a 20% more HPS requirement across the entire board throughout the entire dungeon. Like if you look at your damage taken overall, it's 20% grievous or 20% quaking.
It's the same
And
with
it's like-
quaking.
It's
Yeah,
even
and bursting
more.
as well.
It really restricts the amount of keys that you can push.
Yeah.
For the week exactly. Like tyrannical.
Isn't
grievous.
quaking bursting a thing? Sorry to interrupt. Isn't that like a? Is
bursting
it
and
bursting? Or is it?
I
Yeah,
don't-
it's bursting and quaking, isn't it? That's a thing. And it's just like 40%
together
more.
as a combo?
Yeah, as a combo one. And it's
Wait,
like
really?
a fucking.
That's MDI only.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. I'm pretty certain it is.
That's
it's
fucked.
bursting quake 4. Yeah,
That's
just
disgusting.
Like, fuck you. That's like 40% more healing just because,
no.
fuck it, why
Yeah.
not?
Jesus.
Yeah.
50k
Yeah, it's terrible.
just standard healing every
Yeah,
mob.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's fucking stupid.
It's
Well-
so fucked. But I think there's ways to work around it. Like this week, I was able to heal. Like I don't know if Matt remembers, but I don't know if we tested the 23 temple with quaking or if we even tried it yet. But there's ways around it. But it's just so inconvenient for me.
Temple's terrible, by the way. First boss
Yeah.
alone is just
Yeah.
fuck you. That quaking is just horrible. But-
Oh, Quaking first boss would have some dick overlap. too.
Oh, the overlap's
Yeah.
terrible, yeah. And you might get through it fine one time, go back in, and it's like, fuck you now, sort of thing. Like, yeah, have a bad overlap and wipe. GG.
What about
Yeah.
soul rending on Yasna at the end with the quaking when you're supposed to stack him? Have you ever done that? And then the quaking comes out, and then you're just like, "Oh fuck,
That doesn't sound fun.
you're supposed to stack." You just kill the
it's
fucking.
not bad. Like the idea of the affix isn't bad in itself, but the fact that there are 3 different variances to when it could potentially hit you. Like it could come out when everyone's at 10% from that stack from Soul Rend, and then just completely kill everyone, maybe potentially, or just really fucked up timings on the quaking, and it just.
I think
so
the worst
inconvenient.
part about Quaking is even if you play perfectly around it, every member of the group is still taking 20% of their
20%.
net fill.
Yeah.
Like, how is that fair? You're literally playing around it, and you're still fucked. Like,
Yeah. Bring the
That's
base
fucking
damage down,
stupid.
but increase the stack damage, sort of thing. Maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Because then that doesn't promote
Remove
shit
the
play,
fucking
Like,
as well.
I think the other day we ran a triple melee comp in Toll,
Mm.
and Arlie was just getting fucked completely in those hallways.
I hope
He was
not a
just getting
single
fucked.
interrupt went
It was
off.
So funny. Yeah, he was just.
Do you
getting
remember the
fucked.
Wakefest Moon? You were in that, right?
Oh yeah, fuck
That
that,
was
shit.
Horrible, dude. Jesus.
Yeah,
Um,
especially if the tank dies, it looks shit on me, but it's the melee's fault for standing on him.
Yeah.
Like it's not my
But
fault.
60% of his max health forehead. Like,
Yeah.
What do you guys? I wanted to talk about. Oh, actually, quickly, we'll look at the poll for reaping. Is it good or bad? Everyone said it was good. Essentially, 20% are delusional.
I demand a revote. There's no suck my ass on there. So
There's no suck your ass. I'll put it on the next one. I promise. I'll put it on the next one. I want to talk about comp, but before we talk about comp, I want to talk about the tanking situation in Mythic Plus, right? So, and healing actually. So healing is obviously Resto Druid is towering above the others, right? Is that how it's how it's looking at the moment? What's the close second? Would be Priest? Is it? Not Monk. Is
no,
it?
No.
Monk.
Monk.
Okay.
Monk or Paladin.
Oh really?
I
Paladin.
played Mistweaver at the beginning of season 1, and I got up to like 2700, and honestly it was really fun, but it's just so frustrating to have gotten that far on my Mistweaver and to have been like ranked really well, really high for quite a long period of time, and then have hit a wall when it came to certain tyrannical keys that it's not a me problem, it's a class problem. There's just not enough not enough mana for you to ever possibly heal a 23 temple tyrannical as a Mistweaver monk without any sort of external cooldown like Innervate or maybe a Shadow Priest V, but even then it's just barely enough because your mana management is not even your fault, the class itself.
Yeah.
I love Holy Pally because you just drop Consecrate. You're like 12
Holy Pally is rising. I think with every single single patch that comes out, their crit
get
chance is
stronger,
super high, and they'll just get stronger
Yeah, 100%.
exponentially for sure. But
Yeah.
it is frustrating to have druids be flavor of the month for like the last 2 years, ever since I got really into keys. But yeah, everyone
The
in my
difference
chat
with
knows.
Legion
Well,
though is, I mean,
technically,
you could
Holy
get
So-
away
Pally
with the
Texas.
monk.
Oh, sorry,
Get away with
you
the
go.
monk, but you could play pretty much any healer back in Legion and it'd be 7
yeah,
years
for
for like
sure.
So that's the difference, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, technically, Holy Pally is not really exponential anymore. Like, the Holy Shock just has a flat 30% modifier to it now, like, for crit chance. It's not double anymore.
Yeah.
It used to be, like, double chance, now it's
Yeah.
just plus 30.
But it's still very good though.
Yeah, it's
very-
strong, yeah.
I love
Yeah.
how your favorite thing about a healing spec is the damage with
It does
consecration.
fucking math, dude. It
The
does
AoE
so much.
actually.
It's
I
so
mean,
Like,
dumb.
on
watched
single
that-
target, consecrates, like, 30% of your damage. It's stupid.
Yeah, I watched that Z-Muck, whatever, the Z-Muck.
Z-Muck, yeah.
Z-Muck, yeah. He did a H-Pally key in the tile. And the dude just was fucking tearing it up, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah,
It was
it fucking
24 or
blasted.
something as well. Yeah, he blasted through. It was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Although that guy's a bit of a freak, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, I'd like to see some sort of mixing it up a bit would be fucking good. Yeah, for
I think
sure.
it's
It needs it.
important that classes are better than others though in fields, like in terms of rating PvP and
Yeah,
doing Mythic class. Otherwise, it would just be kind of like if I can feel Blizzard trying to do this skill based thing, and I think it would just come down to them being lazy and making templates again, like in PvP, and I don't want that to happen. I feel like that would just literally ruin everything. But like that being said,
I mean,
going as high as you can and then not being able, literally hitting a wall would suck dicks. That would suck dicks.
But isn't there
You have some dumb
isn't there kind of
circumstances.
a
Oh, sorry, you go.
yeah isn't there a sort of cookie cutter build in the MDI though when it came to like double rogue,
Yeah,
unholy DK, and Windwalker?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
druid and
that's
the
right.
warrior. Like it was just
Well, the
it
unholy
already
DK
is
was for
that
certain
way.
keys. It's essentially
Yeah.
double rogue, monk,
yeah.
warrior, and
the monk to
druid,
make
and it's
the
like-
to make the rogues better
myself,
as well.
I kind of got sick of watching it because it was the same.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
like obviously you watch for your like favorite people, right? But everyone's playing the same comp. It's not fun. It doesn't make it exciting. Like Matt always talks about how one of the Shadow Priests didn't play Shadow Priest in the MDI because
That's me.
they wouldn't buy the comp. Yeah,
I played
right?
Shadow
Like,
Priest in MDI.
You know,
yeah.
and then when I see a Mystery Reaver Monk, like I saw one Mystery Reaver Monk, and I remember seeing one Holy Pally, and that was just the best ever. But the rest of that was just druids. And you press Sunfire, one global, and you do 13k DPS. It's so shit. Like please.
Yeah. Well, that's essentially like when my team was going in, and we're like, well, we're not taking this super seriously. Let's just, give it a shot. And I was like, yeah, sweet. Like we won't play Photo and shit, and we're talking about like just sticking to our live classes, which would mean I'd be on Warlock and blah blah blah. And then obviously as soon as we got in, they're like, oh yeah, it's a double rogue Windwalker because the routes are too fucking much better. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand that on like Told to Gods, like get a double rogue, and it's just like stupidly fucking easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did a hunter and shadow priest and rogue on freehold, and like we didn't go too well, but it was at least fucking interesting to see how many people wanted us to fucking win just
Yeah.
because we were playing
for
something
sure.
different. Yeah.
Well, what about the tank situation? Like we've all seen that clip with the warrior spell reflecting in temple, right? The clone, the cyclone.
Yeah,
What do you guys
Cyclone's
think about that being like? Obviously, warrior is nuts. Like warrior night elf is fucking insane, right?
I think it's great that tanks actually need healing this expansion, because I remember last expansion, like I would just heal a DK and I wouldn't really heal them at all. I would just DPS at all
Built-in
times.
disc priest.
They would just live themselves, yeah. So I'm happy that that's a thing now, but at the same time, there is space for other tanks to be in the limelight, kind of like Lipkiss, Bear, infamous Bear, or like.
But
Pallies are always going to be great. Like I don't know, maybe I'm biased. I play with one, but yeah, it's kind of good to see the meta shifting slowly but surely. But it's still kind of,
DK
I
is
think
always
with
really
Reaping
good
it's
too.
It's getting there.
I
Yeah.
think with Reaping going, you'll see a decent change, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say. Honest opinion on Jorgo, 3 out of 10.
Do you want to explain why you rated him 3 out of 10?
No, I'm
Are
just
you
giving
sure?
him
We
shit,
could be full
I
toxic.
know there will be a clear bet that I've sent to him, and that's all that's gonna make me happy. To be honest, really, that's all. Nothing else. But yeah, I'd like to do MDI this season has just been fucking boring. I'm sick of double rogue monk.
Yeah.
Warrior,
Yep.
druid.
Agreed.
And I don't blame people. It's a fucking competition, so you're gonna play what's best. But fuck, dude.
I mean,
It's
it's
like-
always been the same, right? Like, everyone's always playing.
always been a
the
meta.
so, like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, for Upper Kara last season, it was triple Windwalker. Like,
Yeah. That
Mm.
was right at the very end, though. And
yeah.
when they were
Yeah.
broken.
When
as
Windwalkers
fuck.
were fucking disgusting.
I mean, you could do,
I remember
buddy,
you
you
like
could
me
do
with
5
fucking-
fucking warlocks. You could do, you know, shit like that. But
Send
yeah,
one
it's-
tank in and that's it in his own group. and
Yeah,
just solo
I don't
bosses.
mind stuff like that. Like, it's like
Mm.
if in a perfect world, it's like you take different tanks, different healers for certain affixes and stuff like that. But I just, you know, it's difficult to keep it all sort of relatively even at the same time.
Yeah.
And the
So, dude, I
class
love
swapping
how
being so
everyone's
restrictive, like
fucking,
Matt said, is a big deal in MDI. For example, we wanted to run double rogue on Toll because there's just no other option. The
Yeah.
amount of time you can save on that just running double rogue. But then if we run double rogue there, we couldn't run the composition that we wanted to in freehold and in the following match. So because you could only swap one class at a time. So
Yeah.
It's like what Cuddle's
hopefully
saying,
with the
yeah.
upcoming, with the upcoming LAN now, I think there's no limitations. I think you can literally play whatever you want, swap as many times as you want each match. So hopefully that'll bring in a few different things. Yeah.
Well, it's like what Cuddles was saying, yeah. Like if you want to play high end and you want to win, you're obviously going to bring the best thing. It's like,
Yeah, for sure.
you know,
And now there's money starting to be involved in these LAN tournaments, so you're gonna probably see,
mm.
you know, all
It's
the
just-
shit.
I just find it funny because if you watch like a YouTube video, like a clip, and what they've done is they've picked one of the teams and zoomed in on it, and the commentating is literally it's identical because they're the same fucking
Yeah.
meta, like classes. It's ridiculous. Just does not matter.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
But bring back class. Put more classes in.
Bring the
Bring back
flexibility in, I
Bluey,
feel.
dude.
Bring back Solar Seeds, Warlock Blues.
No.
That's all fucking fast.
Imagine having 3 viable specs.
Oh, I mean, true. I mean,
More like one viable.
Wait, no, Demo's still like the best one, right? Surely.
for Mythic Plus, I mean, it's the
Yeah.
only one you're losing a kick, so you're pretty much just.
Unless they play around your
Pretty sure
catechism,
the rank
right?
1 lock is playing F right now. He's like 3.5k.
No way, Cieli or whatever his
Yeah,
name is.
I'm not even moving. He's playing F
He's
right
playing. No way. Can we check that up? Can someone?
Yeah.
I
now.
know.
I looked at his page and it said he was an F lock, so I didn't look into it.
No, that'd just be for raid or something like that. There's
Yeah,
no
okay.
way. Like, unless I've just missing something entirely, which is possible.
I mean, let's check.
Very, very possible. I'm checking, but I don't think the Raider IO. Oh, it's Zooks or whatever. I thought your name was Cieli, or whatever the fuck they call him. Got his name's 100% demo. Yeah, there's no way that Destro is just not going to work, and Affy's just even worse. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not going to happen.
When I tried to level Warlock, I went through all 3 specs in one dungeon, and then when I left the dungeon, I gave up because I'm too dumb. I was just like, this is can't be fucked. Back to melee I go. To swing, brain dead
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Swing your sword, forehead.
Say it like Shell, but there's a J in there. Shelly?
It's a gel.
SJ?
Shelly?
Did you want to talk
SJ.
about? Did you want to talk about your team and getting into MDI and what people have to do to get in and whatnot?
I
Nilesy?
mean,
and how it
we
was like.
scabuzzed our way in super hard, dude. We did I think all 3 weeks, and we never practiced. We didn't do live keys together. Essentially half of fucking or most of Oceanic was either banned or couldn't fucking compete for whatever reason. So we got in on the last week, and then I went out, had a massive night on, and decided to wake up 30 minutes
Jesus
before.
Christ.
Optimal.
So I was
Optimal.
like, I get into Discord. They're like, "Yeah, you good, Nem? Like, you good to go?" And I was like, I said, "Yep." And I don't think I said another word. And that's like 3
Yep.
hours.
Straight up.
So I fucking rolled into a mob and told the girl that was supposed to skip. Classic. And and then anyway, the following day I was like, "Alright, I'll stay in tonight, be a good boy, and make sure I'm prepped." And then the team didn't even end up rocking up, and it was the only team we thought we could actually beat. So we actually got through on that, and then they messaged us recently and said, and then we got fucking smashed by Black Mamba, I think it was. And yeah, they messaged us and said, "Hey, do you want to play backup for LAN?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, free tickets and accommodation to Sydney, and why not?" But I don't think we're going. They just re-released the roster or whatever, and we're not on it. So they're a bit how's it going with that sort of stuff. Last minute information, all that sort of shit. So yeah, I don't know. I think you just gotta find people that you play with regularly on live, and you'll be fine. That's really
I can
it.
see he's smiling now.
Yeah, so yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right, we're gonna do some questions from the chat. So hopefully this isn't gonna be as toxic as I think it will be.
Oh, it will
But
be.
this is gonna be a shit show. I'm assuming. We'll start with the first one. Question for the guests. I have Mythic Plus anxiety, and I'm scared of doing high keys. It's really hard to build up my own score, but I first need to build up my confidence. Any tips? My first tip would be
Play rogue.
penis enlargement pills don't work. So definitely hit the gym, and then talk about it constantly in your keys. That should establish a little bit of dominance among whoever the fuck you sign up to. And then play a rogue.
What?
Play a rogue.
Yeah.
Play rogue.
Play fodder.
I'd say
Echoing
just play
blades.
with people that you're comfortable with.
Yeah,
Like
play with
people,
people you
are,
like, for sure,
if you're
for
playing with friends, they're not gonna like claim you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
man,
unless
they
you
wanna
play
get-
OCE, they will, but not as bad as
Oh,
what
if
a
it's
pug will.
OCE, you're fucked. Like,
Yeah.
just don't bother, dude.
The pugs will just alt
Play with
F4.
those- play with it, honestly.
Just believe in yourself.
Just believe in yourself.
Just get fucking wet.
Don't be a girl.
Oh, imagine believing in yourself. What the
Oh, no,
fuck?
goodness. Nah,
Just play
I'd say
Pro Warrior, honestly.
Nah,
Yeah.
play with your mates and push with your mates. And if you don't have any mates, maybe like just queue into like random keys. And when you find someone that you like playing with that's good at your sort of skill level and you wasn't a prick or a counter or anything like that, add him and play with him again.
Hmm.
I'd say that's the way to do it for sure.
Just
I mean,
being
I've-
nice.
Added at least like 150 people from just doing keys with them. Like,
E-friends are not
it's,
real.
it's good to have like a big like roster of people to play with. 'Cause, like,
Yeah.
if you're ever like tilted or whatever, and you just want to play like do some fun keys, you just like play with some people that do lower keys. Like,
Mm.
Do your
it's always
fucking
good not to
research.
chill.
Do your research
Yeah,
on your class.
100%,
Do your
yeah.
research on your
Yeah,
traits.
if you really want
Try
to take
'em.
it seriously, watch other people who push big. If you don't want to push big and you just want to do like 15s or whatever, you can pretty much wing it for the most part and just play with people you enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we got another question. Hey, what are your thoughts on the rank 1 rogue in OCE? How many fat lambs you got left?
I've got 5. Oh wait, yeah, 5.
Out of
Jeez,
what?
Oh,
you
actually,
really had to double
three-
check that
Oh,
count
there we
there, dude.
Next, if you include this one.
I'll hold that
Yeah.
answer for now. I'll hold it for now.
Mm.
Question for Niles. Do you think that it'll be Vol or Sabin that gets you banned from Twitch? Niles?
Vol for sure, dude. That guy says
Oh.
very questionable
Honestly, I'm
in-game
fucking
mail
offended.
that I keep fucking opening on stream like a fucking idiot, dude. Like, oh, fuck me, dude.
I've literally leaked my address on my
Vol
stream.
is a Swifty mod. He's an angel. Yikes, dude. Poor
I'm a
Swifty.
stay safe mod. I'm an easy too, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm getting
Are you
banned
with
from
Sabin?
VOD.
I don't think so.
Wait, I'm a
Why?
stay safe mod. Go to stay safe chat right now. I'll type in it.
Are you actually?
Yeah, I am.
Are you actually?
Yeah, I'm a stay safe mod.
Opening?
Oh fuck.
Holy shit.
Ready?
Yeah,
Wait.
I'll take your word for it. I'll watch other people's
Adding you?
reactions.
Go on.
Go on.
Ready, mate? Have you added me
Yeah.
yet? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice, dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I told you.
Fucking hell,
So
dude.
what do you do to be a mod? Because Atmos is my mod, and that guy's terrible. I didn't think he watches my stream at all. But what are you gonna do to
I'm
me?
just waiting for a while.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
I feel like you just mod your friends until you're partnered.
Well, yeah, that's right.
And then-
Atmos is like a 2 out of 10 mod at best, and it's like fucking. It's like someone being super racist gets banned, maybe, and that's about it. The rest is like.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, he might not even be there. He'll be in the stream and just like leave it open and forget that he's actually supposed to be doing something, dude. Oh fuck.
Well, luckily, I'm a very TOS abiding citizen.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Fucking hell.
Do we have any more
Well-
questions? With melee being the meta, rank the range DPS in Mythic Plus. I don't even know.
Don't play them.
Hunter, right? That's
Not
Yeah,
Boomkin. There you go.
Hunter does insane damage.
And
Yeah.
then probably Shadow Priest.
Yeah.
And then
Hunter, Shadow
probably
Priest, Frost
Mage.
Mage. You
Yeah.
play anything else, you're wrong. Like,
Yeah.
straight up.
Fucking rip, dude. Rip my fucking life, dude.
Oh, and maybe for Necrotic Week is really strong, but
Yeah.
everything else, just don't play it, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you have some exceptions. Ellie Shaman's, yeah, Ellie Shaman's good. You have some
Yeah.
exceptions to certain people that play Boomy and Warlock and whatever else really well. But I'd say, yeah, Hunter, Shadow Priest, Mage are probably the only 3 really, really viable.
That's so
range.
fucking toxic.
Bring a Boomkin if you don't want to time the key. Oh, fuck.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah. Anything else? How many questions we got? We got plenty, right?
We got a few, but they're just toxic.
Oh, yeah, they would be. It'd be heaps of toxic.
Is Mythic Plus or Mythic rating harder? I think PvE is a piece of piss.
Oh
the end.
my god.
That's what I think because it's
Oh,
not.
yeah, go
At
Moon.
Cuddles.
It's not real time reaction. But I mean, Mythic Plus keys get harder. Mythic rating stays the same. So it's just like
Let
whatever.
me elaborate on
I
why
think
this
pet
question
battling is the
weird.
hardest content. to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, go for it.
Is because
on.
fucking Cuddles the other day, Rain was streaming, and Cuddles decides to go on a fucking tangent, and then everyone in Rain's chat went apeshit because Cuddles said, and I quote, M plus is harder than Raid. Period.
Oh,
Full stop. That's it. And then his chat imploded, and that's why that question is here right now.
okay.
And I have to say,
I know everyone in Honestly and Ethical was
Everyone-
flaming the shit out of Cuddles last night.
it was
What?
so good. Like,
I mean, I get stopped in Borealis all the time. Hey, big fan of your stream and all this sort of shit. Like, I just give it nothing, mate. I just go, hey, thanks for that and shit. But it's all fucking Ethical and Crimson, dude. They're trying really hard.
I mean, I kept saying this one thing that Cuddles never brought up is that how can you tell if chocolate is better than pie if you've never had pie before? Same thing. How can you say that raiding is not as easy or M plus is harder than raid if you haven't raided at
Cuddles
a
raids,
method
doesn't he?
level?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
but
the
not
best
at an
team announcer
honestly
in the
level,
world,
not
right?
at a
Yeah, okay.
Cuddles is
Camel
actually the best team
ranking.
in the world, so I think
Yeah.
he would
I'm
know
just
me.
I just mean like
Do we have that clip? Do we
Which
have
one?
that? Do we have that clip?
Do we
That's
put it up?
TOS.
Can
That's
you- can
TOS, by the way.
Is it
Is
actually?
it TOS?
Wait, does APOC
it
stream?
has. It has no. It has a KYS.
There.
You can't
Oh,
play it,
okay, we
play it.
can't play it then. That's
Ah,
alright.
okay,
Yeah.
Never mind then.
You
and I
can
kept
link it in
saying
the
that
chat.
and no one
and stuff.
acknowledged it, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying like can't be saying the shit because M plus is a scale that rises
Yeah.
like infinitely.
Exponentially,
There's
yeah.
there's no wall to stop. Every time we're doing keys, we're trying to push the boundaries of what we can do. Whereas raid is a static environment, and if you can't change your strategy, then you're fucked.
Team
And that's
Hunter
just
so
what I think.
OP, you don't even
So
need a keyboard.
you can't play it on stream, but if someone were to link it in the chat, like by coincidence, then I'm sure that you could watch it for yourself.
Oh fucking hell. Oh fuck.
I have a-
mean, it's like, yeah, I'll kill a boss after 3 fucking nerfs, and Mythic rating is easy, dude. Like,
listen. I can't justify it. I'm just shit. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna crack a drink there. I thought you were pulling a Sabin on me so fucking hard. Just then, dude. Holy shit.
I'll dab the minute
That's
before
my
I
thing,
die.
no one else
That's
is
when I'll
allowed to do
dab.
it.
That's what I'll dab.
Yeah,
I actually
fuck
have a good question here. With challenge modes being removed to make way for the key system, do you guys think challenge modes should be integrated back into the game? If so,
Yes.
how do you
Yeah.
think it should be integrated back into the game? Should it be integrated into into the current system, or have it be its own separate mode? We kind of touched on this
Just
before.
Yeah, just achievements.
Plus 20s give gear, plus 20s give transmog titles amount. Done. Easy. That's all it is.
Time like 520s get set easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's all you need to do. Done.
Essentially, like
peasy.
the plus 15 achievement we have, make a like plus 18 that gives you transmog, and then a plus 20 gives you the fucking mount or something as well. It's a very
Yeah.
easy way
Yeah.
to build that.
Should they add Mythic plus
That way, it's
affixes
like
to
you're the
raids?
best CH in the world. You get a transmog to prove it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If they brought Mythic plus affixes to raids, I wouldn't be able to fucking raid.
Yikes, dude.
Would not be able to do it.
The red pally rotation's difficult enough, right? You can't.
I'd be like the boss, sanguine. Oh fuck. Can I wait for it to despawn?
Can't wait to bring back CM so you shit cunts will spam it /2 sales. Oh man, maybe some more RMT bans. What do you reckon, Timbo?
Didn't we already do that?
I can't believe they did that to you. That's so shit.
The ban thing?
Yeah. Like, do
Yeah,
you want to
well,
talk about it?
ideal.
You can talk about it if you like.
I don't mind. I have no shame, dude. I didn't do anything wrong. I woke up to the ban, sent 20 emails, got copy pasta responses the entire time. That's the part that pissed me off the most.
Dad.
It wasn't.
Wait,
the
that's
fact that
really
I got-
weird.
Well, I don't mind. I don't actually have a problem with being banned. If they're like investigating RMT or whatever, that's fine. But like, sort of tell me, hey, we're investigating RMT. We're just gonna lock your account for 24 hours and let you know what's going on. But in that period, I was smashing them with 20 emails. They just like full blown copy pasta responses, and I was like, oh fuck this, I'm gonna make a Reddit post, blah blah blah, like the honestly post sort of thing, scorched earth and all that sort of bullshit. And then yeah, like after sending the last email before I went to bed, and they're like, yeah, look, there's no chance of getting unbanned. Sorry. I was like, oh fuck. Bought an account, bought a boost because I fucked up a free boost that comes with the account.
Oh, fuck it. There's only like 20,000 videos complaining about it.
On US, like,
Jesus Christ.
Wait, if that's
Oh,
true, how come you
no.
whispered me on raid night? How do you split 2,500 USD between?
It was so toxic. And then yeah, so woke up the next morning, hey, and pretty much the email's like, sorry, we fucked up. Enjoy the game. Like it's like, oh sweet. It was like the most generic copy paste sorry you've ever seen in your life. And yeah, and then yeah, logged back on, bunch of gold was gone from the G Bank, whatever, who cares? It's not a big deal. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I asked for a refund on my boost and my new account, and they just pretty much said like no. Which is sort of bullshit considering I literally.
You're like, oh, you know what? We'll just fix it.
No, they didn't. Nothing. And it's like, it's not even like, hey, no, we can't do that. It's like, nah, sorry. Like, they're gonna give you that refund. Bye.
I can do it, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Did you want to touch on the what happened to you, Mr. Sabin, recently with your Mythic Plus team? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Shit,
But if you'd like to, this is a
Oh.
safe space to put it as
Oh,
non-toxic as
no.
possible, just so people can get a little insight what happens with teams and stuff like that who are pushing.
Yeah. It's a typical OCE thing. I don't want to shit talk too much because like I've already gone in like a lot on the man, and he's probably not.
He's probably.
No, like I really went.
I mean,
I
just
probably
talking
went
about
too far
like
on the man.
you don't have to name him or whatever, but like you like
Oh,
I mean
no,
like
it's
what?
APOC, I'll say it.
Well, I mean,
No,
chat was there before, so it's before you, so it's
Yeah.
cool. But I just mean like,
I mean, as far as I know, most of the people have seen the clip. Like, they know what happened. If they've seen the VOD, they know the story. Like,
hmm.
I don't think there's too much more to say about it. Like, I think we should. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Just leave
in
the
like a
man
sense
alone,
of
as far as I see.
in sense of like as if you're in a team and you want to keep it non like volatile as possible, so you're not walking
Yeah.
on eggs in every single dungeon. What would be the key points to keeping the team together? You know what I mean? As like as a single player. You know what I mean?
I would say like being able to accept your mistakes is the biggest like thing. Like, if you fuck up, you need to accept it. You can't blame it on other people, or you're never going to get better yourself.
Yeah.
And like teamwork is obviously the biggest thing in M+. And I don't know, like sometimes like the teamwork's just not there, and that's when you need to like cut people off and get new people in. You know,
Yeah.
you have to just keep
Fucking up
trying
and
new
blaming
people
someone
in.
else for
Yeah.
keys.
Yeah.
Team
Fucking
synergy is just
dick move,
fucking.
yeah.
It's definitely
Like you
definitely
just can't
there.
fuck up that much if you're not willing to accept that you fucked up and try to get better about it, right? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I
It's
think
a-
also being able to learn how to take criticism is very difficult for some people. And
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
being female, you know, people have the
She's
like
playing the
being-
token.
I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to
Some
ask.
people have this thing in their minds that, oh, she's a girl, you can't tell her that she fucked up.
No,
Right? When
do
I
people
learned the
actually
hard
do
way,
that?
Do people actually not tell you?
like people don't want to people that don't want to be straight up with you are the ones that, you know, aren't the ones that want to see you improve. So I've been
Oh
through
yeah, I'm
so
pretty
many
sure Matt said something about that to me about you, Moon.
Yeah.
Like, you have to
He just hits you with a list
Yeah, he
after every
just-
night.
Yeah, he just whispered me. He said, "Oh yeah, Moon's shit."
Yeah, Matt actually just
Fuck
messaged
Matt.
me.
Get the fuck out of here, Matthew. Fuck you, Mac. Anyway, so like being able to ask the group what I can do to help them live longer and what I can do to help them, you know. And it took me a while to get to that point of confidence where, you know, if I fucked up something in a key, I will take full blame on it, and I will take that into account and improve for the next time. If I fuck up a kick on a 23 shrine, I will make a mental note of that and not fuck up in the 24. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
something that I've come a long way to assert myself and to know that, okay, if I fucked up, if I genuinely don't think I can heal a 25 weight crest, I think we should knock it down to a 24. Like, I know what I'm capable of, and I've like, you know, thought about things a lot.
Yeah.
Stop talking in the fucking Discord.
We have our own little Discord chat going on right now
Sabin.
as well, just to clarify as well. The random
Look,
laughing. So.
did you wait, let me just post this real quick. Look at that,
But yeah,
Sabin.
another thing. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You
go
have
ahead.
to you have to
Oh
learn
yeah,
how to
no, I've seen
be able
that.
to, like,
I've seen that.
take criticism and to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Mm.
But that's the same with just life in general, right? Just
Yeah, exactly.
learn
Yeah.
from your fucking mistakes, and
Maybe a shit dog.
admit to fucking up. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. You may most of the time people just try to pick up your mistakes to help you. You know what I mean? Unless
Yeah, for
unless
sure.
it's me and Ramo,
And I
and I
guess
literally didn't
the-
know that
The
happened.
way that you point out someone's mistake at Sabin.
Whoa. Nah,
You know?
it's not. It's not as bad as it looks. If you see the VOD, you'll see how justified it is. Well,
Like
Yeah.
Nilesy learned from his mistakes. He learned he wasn't cut out for MDI, so he stopped trying.
I thought you were going to say RMT.
Well, I'm
fuck.
surprised he didn't give me shit. I don't know if you guys, like, how many of you have access to the Medium Discord, but there is literally, like, so the night that I got unbanned, actually, no, it wasn't even the night I got unbanned. So I got banned, it's getting late, and I'm like, everybody's like, oh yeah, like, we'll help boost you and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, sweet, nah, it's all good, guys. I'm just going to chill out, wait for the trade lock, because I boosted a character to open up and upgrade my heirlooms and all that sort of shit and level. And there's like a fucking compilation of 86 memes that they generated. So, like, you can make memes online, and they just blasted me for 4 hours straight, posting memes in our Discord.
That's so good.
Yeah, they're posting memes in our Discord the entire time. Just giving me shit for getting banned for RMT. It's like, I'm not even unbanned yet at this point. My fucking guild's toxic.
There's the one for that chick where she's like in a porno and it's like when a rumor gets found out about Niles RMT and it's like, oh fuck yes, spread it.
Dude, I'll post it. I have no shame. I'm gonna post
Oh,
it in
holy
the chat.
shit,
Fuck
dude.
it. I'm gonna post it in the chat, dude. Hopefully I don't get fucking banned again just because of these fucking memes. So yeah, we made a fucking compilation image of like
He's about to make it.
it's about to begin to
Wait.
I think my favorite one of the night, it's like when Niles gets caught putting gold into other guild banks, and it's like, oh fuck, put it back in.
Also, just for reference, in he's about to begin the spilt milkshake is because there's a clip of me spilling milkshake all over my desk while streaming. Just FYI.
Oh, I wish I could show
That's-
these. Holy shit.
I don't mind, go nuts. But yeah, that's the extent that they went to. They really fucking went far on these memes, dude. Oh,
I
fuck.
can't because you're a streamer and it's TOS.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately. Yeah, it's real tight.
That's terrible.
It's real tight knit. Mm.
Froggy already tried to post it. Fuck it, I'll Froggy.
How are you doing?
Dude, I hope that Oh Hey I'm Bob is actually a girl, because he's trying real hard to.
No, that's an officer in Crimson. He's a
Oh,
booty.
okay. Alright. That's alright.
Oh, fuck.
He's trying real hard, dude.
Yeah,
It's all
dude.
good.
It's a hard life, dude. You hate to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything you guys would like to cover before we wrap this up?
I don't know. Stop being toxic on Frostmourne. Bring back.
Let's
I was
all
never
let's
gonna
all
have
just
that.
let's all just
Yeah,
kiss
I
in the
honestly
shower.
reckon it's the top side that just really make it bad. Like, don't get me wrong, my guild is toxic as fuck, but in the best possible way
Mm.
ever. Like, there is no way that anybody being genuinely a prick will get away with it. If you're just fucking around, like, being toxic for memes, it's fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better sort of environment. But the
No,
problem
I'm
is, I
loving
think
the meme. Yeah, atmosphere.
yeah, the line just gets crossed too much. So I think, and
Yeah.
just let people play the game how they want to, and just because you're in a better guild doesn't mean you're gonna get shit to people that are playing it more casually and whatever else. So
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Is there any shout outs you guys want to do? Sabin, any shout outs? Or anything like
Yeah, shout out to the best EH in the world, Cuddles. And,
that?
and the Wound Brothers that always troll my keys, Shura Samreenan.
Jesus Christ.
Also, shout out to Nibran, big fucking rogue. I've learned a lot from him. Good man.
oh, there you go.
I was
Oh,
today
shout
years
outs.
old when I learned how to say Nibran. Sick. Moon, what about you?
She's
Shout
shouting.
out to Peekaboo, who's been here for a while.
Wait, who?
Shout out to Matt.
Yeah, I
Kiwi,
was waiting for. I knew she was gonna shout out that.
the twins, of course,
Mm.
and Kyle, Niles, and Hendris.
Ah,
Yeah,
nice.
yes, dude.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Is Atch actually in the
Atch,
chat?
Atch.
Ash is not in here.
Holy
Oh
shit!
my god!
Peekaboo's in the
Jason!
chat? What?
Wait, Peekaboo?
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Someone sent me a
He
message.
can
on
be a
Twitter.
huge fucking.
I remember I got a Snapchat from you and I cried.
Wait, do you add
Yeah,
people on
how about
Snapchat?
how about
Oh,
him
yeah,
coming
dude.
into your chat in the middle of a 24 shrine and breaking the key? Like it's bad.
Classic.
Dude, the
I mean,
move.
So bad.
Bro, the move. Holy shit. Holy
Bad.
shit.
Let's
Nilesy,
move on.
you got anyone you want to shout out?
Oh, I just bring Timbo back. Let's shout out to my boy
It's in
Timbo.
Timbo.
I gotta
Fucking
rep
oath,
Timbo,
mate.
man.
Fucking
Bring
oath.
Timbo back on.
Bro, I need to get better
OCE class
internet
3.
so I can have some more quality on here. I
Yeah.
swear.
Pumps and well, mainly Pumps pushing me really hard to get him and Blueprint on the cast. So I guess I'll speak to them and see if they
Right.
want to come next time. If you're
That
into
would
it.
be fucking
Yeah, dude.
amazing.
I know we've
Yeah, I
got
love that, dude.
we've got some boys from Ethical that want to come on as well with the Honestly
Oh,
boys as
we
well.
gotta
So
upgrade your internet and get more cams on
oh
here.
yeah,
What do you
I might
reckon?
give it a go. Well, today was kind of a test because I'm running my Discord camera, not my actual camera. So and it's going pretty smooth. So we
Oh.
might be able to try it again.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. I'd say donos in the chat, like get some donations. They're going to charity anyway. So that's gonna
Well, yeah,
help
this
you
is the
with that
last
problem,
night. This is the last night for the charity, guys. So if you do want to
Nice.
donate, you can use this link to go to the charity to donate anonymously, or if you want to go through the stream, all the donations from the stream go straight to the charity. That's it, really. Thank you very much for chilling with us today. Appreciate
Well, now I
it.
have to do keys. Fucking lit, man.
You're welcome.
God damn it.
So maybe all the alcohol will just lubricate your plays, dude. You'll be
Oh,
flawless.
God.
Lubricate, sick word, dude.
He was gonna die like 10 times.
Nah,
He's gonna be
flawless
Moist
plays.
plays.
Don't stress. Moist plays.
Is there any OCE streamers right now that anyone want us to host?
Oh
what's
yeah,
up?
Waller. Is
wait,
Waller
see,
on?
Wall is
I've got
live.
this
Yeah,
really.
Warlord
I've
just
got
got
this.
on.
Oh, dude, Nagura's on. Host Nagura and
Bro.
Saves your boy Nilesy.
You want me
She'll
to?
love that. Dude, she has been. No, don't actually. She's been.
I mean,
ghosting
we
all
could.
my messages, dude.
She hasn't been
Fuck.
replying to you, dude.
She's been. I don't know if it's gonna work out between me and her. To be honest.
You know
It's a
what?
bit-
She's a
She's
boyfriend,
not.
by the way.
she's
That's
not
kinda
good for you,
like-
Nilesy. She's not good for you, Nilesy. I trust her.
Yeah.
She's not good for you, dude.
Yeah.
Promise.
Jesus
I wouldn't lie to
Christ.
Imagine being Nagura and just thinking you can have a boyfriend when Niles is sitting in you. That's toxic. dude.
Oh, fucking hell.
Guys, I can't even type anymore. Holy shit.
Niles-
It's the
Niles-
plastic cup.
The
I'm
white
actually- I'm
wine
about to go
wins,
out,
dude.
Like, I'm wearing
Dude, I'm
fucking.
fucking blasted, honestly.
Nice. I'm going out, dude. I'm calling like as soon as Andrews is like, yeah, so we're wrapping it up. I'm like, okay, Uber.
You hit the boys.
Uh,
Fucking hell. All right, well,
all right.
I'll wrap it up
Shout
here
out.
then, ladies and gentlemen.
Very nice.
Shout out to Fat Lamb for ruining Sabin tonight. Shout out to the white wine for ruining every key Moon's about to do tonight.
Oh my god.
No, I'm joking. Shout out to Nilesy for getting lit after a podcast. That's the way. Shout out to mum and dad for coming in. That was fucking sick.
Yeah. Good on your mum and dad. Oh,
Am I
fuck.
taking suggestions for future guests? I would love to. If you could just send it to me in a whisper on WoW, and then I'll log out immediately. That'd be insane. Thank you, dude. No, I'm joking. All right. We're going to host someone called... We hosted Waller last time, so we'll host someone else.
Did
We'll host steak.
Steak one?
Steak loins. We'll host steak
Steak
loins.
loins.
Yeah, why?
Okay.
Yeah?
Can you say
Fine.
from
Definitely.
moon with a heart?
What was that?
Say from moon with a heart.
Okay, will do.
She's trying to scamaz the host.
You trying to get in on the host, bro?
Biggest fucking scamaz OCE, man. Holy shit.
All
Oh,
right.
fuck.
From Ruson, dude. Fucking hell. All right, boys. Thanks again. I appreciate everyone for coming down. Fucking excellent. If you want to stay tuned for the next one, hit up the Twitter. Come into my Discord. I keep it updated in there. There's going to be a YouTube post of the podcast with timestamps this time immediately as soon as it goes up. So they'll be in the top comments. So just make sure you have a look-see if you want to review the toxicity that went on tonight. Thanks again. Have a sick night. There it is. Mwah. Thank you so much.